What is up, guys? You've got the Oracle there back for round 2 with a red-green beatdown deck, which contains mostly creature, and we are on the play with a very good hand. It obviously needs one more land, but that aside, Bailout Pup into 2 Vile Redeemer seems like a good start. If the opponent has a bit of a slow start, playing those 3 power creature early on might be quite good. We'll see how it goes. It's also possible that my opponent just play a 2 drops there and we end up trading. Vile Redeemers are a bit better on defense than offense, obviously, but you know, I'm not gonna stay back just to make them better. As I drew, I think 2 lands in a row, which is fine. Don't really want to draw many more, but 2 is definitely fine. As the opponent plays an island and pass the turn, definitely casting the Vile Redeemer there to apply more pressure. We'll see what happens. If my opponent does have a counter spell, oh well. Sure. Not much I can do about that. If he has some sort of removal, there's also not much I can do. It's likely that they are gonna use the bounce that puts on top of the library if you're attacking, but I'm not. I mean, my deck cannot just stay there and not attack. I don't have cohort or thing like that. So I guess one of my things is gonna get bounced on the top, which there's just not much I can do about that. Okay, Tarsnare. Well, that's actually not the worst. Do I rather cast another Vile Redeemer or just the Eyeless Watcher? I think a Redeemer can attack through more cards. Yeah, I think I'll keep my manas open. Because Eyeless Watcher, unless my opponent doesn't play anything, which seems unlikely, the Eyeless Watcher itself and the token will get blocked by pretty much anything at that point. So I don't think it's too great. Here he plays a Lantern, which alright, and something else. Alright, well, I'm really glad I didn't play the Eyeless Watcher there, because I will win 3 damages this way, which could matter. Sorry about my voice, I have a bit of a cough there, not sure why. Maybe because it's cold outside. As I draw another land, I've drawn, I think, only land so far, and that's starting to be a bit annoying. Because the opponent will go down to 8 there, but after that he's likely to be able to stabilize the board. And I will not complain, my start was great. What I'm just trying to say is that I could have kept red open and be able to connection sacrificing the Scion, but I don't think it's very likely that I want to do that. And red might be an outnumber, which could be, it could change the way my opponent plays. Anyway, what I was saying is that I had a good draw. I will not complain about that, it was great. That being said, if my opponent can stabilize the board a little bit and draws a few, and I draw a few more lands, I'll quickly be in trouble, basically. So here, if I attack, he trades here, blocks that, and goes to 3. Well, that seems fine. Ooh, I drew a Looming Spire. Alright. That actually doesn't change much, I think. My opponent is likely to... So an option could be to Looming Spire the 1 Redeemer and only attack with that. And then my opponent is likely to take 4. If he jumps, I'm fine with that. He could take 4 and scry though. I give him a scry by doing that. So maybe it's not the best. I could use it on the Eyeless Watcher, I guess. Then he would block here and here. Take 6, go to 2. Yeah, that seems just better. It doesn't really matter. I don't think. Maybe I should have used it on the Scion and giving him the opportunity to block here, since the Watcher is basically worse than a Scion. That being said, I don't think it matters a whole lot here. Alright. So I would assume that the opponent is going down to 2 there. I'm not playing any burn spell except for the Hellkite. And it did the block I was pretty much expecting. So unless my opponent does have some sort of removal, he should take 6 here. Oh, he does have something, apparently. A grasp. Okay, that's quite good for them. Yeah, that's really good for my opponent. Not much I can do about that. That's just great for them. Guess they'll go down to 5. And the board is pretty even now. And since I drew another land this turn, as I mentioned a few turns earlier, things might go quite bad for me. I think I'll fetch my swamp in case I draw my bailout now. It also lessens the chance that I draw a land. But the opponent is at 5, I'm at 20, but I basically have no cards in hand, and I have 2/1/1 on the battlefield, so yeah, things are not looking great. Especially if the opponent's attack there, it's really bad news for me. Hopefully they will not eat one of my good 7-drop. Well, Tadjo Passwarden is something I wouldn't have mind drawing, that's for sure. Alright. Maybe I should have fetched the swamp first in case, to make sure I don't, the opponent cannot eat it. That would have been better, I think. And Yulamag Reclaimer means game over for me, I think. Because now they have a better board as well as a removal for my next threat. Unless I top deck Omnath, I don't like my chances too much, honestly. I just drew a bit too many lands. 7 is not too much, but 7 plus a connection is kinda clunky. I have some decent draws though, so I should not complain too much. But pretty much as I thought, I drew a land, and yeah, unless I top deck Omnath or Balos, I think I will just lose that quite quickly, unfortunately. I got a bit flooded there, but basically I didn't draw any spell since I kept my hand, which is no, never mind, I'm lying there. Actually, no, I never drew a spell so far. So yeah, that might be my downfall. Guess I'll keep my creatures around for now because I have some Lagax as well as a Glade. Well, no Glade Heart Cavalry anymore. That would have been a fine top deck. Not as impressive as other things could have been, but a good one. But my opponent just ate that. And I guess I'll draw another land. No land. Well, Lagak is not incredibly impressive, but it's not bad either. It's decent. It makes it I'm not too far behind on the board. So we know that the opponent does have a grasp in hand. If he uses it on the Lagak or on one of my 2/2, I'd be fine. And yeah, I'm gonna pass the turn. I'm not playing my land because of Omnath, obviously. Yeah. I guess if the opponent uses a grasp there, I'd be happy, but I think it's more likely that they scry. Things are really not looking great for me. The fact that the opponent 2-for-1 me off the Reclaimer has a scry each turn, and that I've drawn a bit too much lands, means that I don't like my chances. Of course, I have things like Omnath that could change things a lot, but that aside, not too much. Guess I'll trade there, no reason to get milled and take 2 damage each turn. As hopefully the opponent doesn't have something too threatening here. 3-drop would most likely be fine. Maybe. Guess we'll see. Grave Bursting. Well, I guess I'll put the connection. I remove the connection from the game. I don't care too much. If it enables the Yulamag Nullifier, that'd be annoying. So I'm speaking about the 4-mana 2/3 flyer flash that counters. That being said, I will not play around that. I don't think it's gonna be great. I'll just play my Hellkite and hopefully it does resolve. It's gonna die to the grasp, but there's nothing I can do about that. And at least I'll be able to kill one. I mean, I'll be able to kill that. So that's the good news. If my opponent has Reclaimer, I mean the Nullifier there, so the blue-black card I was talking about, I think it's gonna be really awful for me. The fact that he's thinking is not a good news. That probably means that they have access to a counterspell, I would assume. Which means that Omnath is not even winning me the game anymore. Same thing with the bailout null. So yeah, things are not looking too great. I had a really sweet start, but it kind of dried up after that. So I'm not sure. The opponent might be debating if he or she wants to counter that, or if they have the Nullifier, countering is just an easy and best play, since it had power to the board, and they do have that. Oh my god, that thing was quite good in Battle for Zendikar, but now it is really hard to make work. The good news is that now I'm likely to resolve a potential Omnath, but if I don't top deck, I will just straight up lose, and I will lose quite quickly. No, not quite quickly, but still. Playing that in Oath of the Gatewatch is quite ambitious, because I guess they managed to remove 2 things, but doing that is not so easy most of the time. And now that I know about that card, I'll be more eager to block the Culling Drones and things like that. It was already not so easy to enable before because it's 2 cards, and now it seems quite ambitious, but I guess it's gonna pay off for my opponent there. If he grasps my Saddleback and swing with everything, but the token, I guess, it's fine. I mean, I cannot do much. I'm really relying on a potential top deck there. The good news is that a Pass Warden now doesn't die to a grasp for my opponent. The bad news is that this is gonna kill me quite fast now. I drew a Grove Rambler, which is kinda fine. Nothing too special, nothing bad either. If my opponent does have another counterspell, I'd be surprised. I could have played a land first to play around the 4 mana counterspell, but that doesn't seem great. The opponent does play Void Shatter. Well, things are not looking great. At least now I think Omnath is gonna be quite good. Well, yeah. That game went a bit bad when I drew those 2 lands, I think. Not sure. Counterspells are actually quite bad in Battle for Zendikar, in Oath of the Gatewatch, but against my deck they are quite good, but my opponent deck doesn't seem great. I mean, there's a bit of removal, but most of the spells are quite medium, I would say, so I'm not sure. But I'm very likely to lose this game no matter what. Here I'll go down to 4, yeah. Unless I just draw. Okay. It's not gonna be enough though. Actually, I can get back the Hellkite. Well, if this resolve, I might come back in this game actually. Never mind. Do I want to cast something this turn? I think I'm taking Hellkite and Cavalry. Yeah, let's take the big things. Alright. I'm not dead. Bailout Null was a very sweet top deck. Maybe I should play a creature so I don't die to a removal spell. I mean, I'm definitely taking that because I need to block the thing. Now I might wanna just take a Bailout Pup. Could also take a Redeemer. I lose an activation of the Hellkite though by playing a land this turn. It's a bit safer if my opponent has a cheap removal for my Eldrazi token, so I don't. Yeah, I think I'll just go for the safe play here, which is taking, I think, this and a Redeemer. Probably just a Bailout Pup though. Yeah, just take those. That's the safest play I can think of. Because if I don't play a creature this turn and my opponent draw a removal spell that can kill one of my things, I just straight up die. So I might as well play it safe. And yep, if the opponent has a land in hand and nothing else, I might come back in this game. It doesn't seem extremely likely though. I guess we'll see what happens. It didn't scry on upkeep, which is either a mistake, either a very bad news. It could mean that he or she already has the kill available. I guess we'll see. At least I'm not dead yet. And the opponent is actually quite low, so you cannot even afford to really do too crazy things. The thing is that I will go down to 2 there if I'm not dead, and after that any removal kills me basically. So things are still not looking great, but at least I'm not dead. Vision on the Billows. Well, I'm really glad I did take the pop and played it, because otherwise I would have been in trouble. Alright. He should attack with that too. And he didn't. That's a misplay, because here I have to make this block. I cannot make any other block, so the opponent just basically lost 1 damage here. And since that's dying next turn of the dragon, most likely, that might end up being a pretty big mistake on his side. We'll see. If he just plays another creature there, I cannot come back, honestly. I don't think so. That's gonna be too much. So yeah, my open draw was just too good for me. Yeah, I drew a mountain, but that's not gonna be enough. Yeah. Yeah. Because I can kill that, and then I have only 1 blocker, and I don't think my opponent will miss the kill. I will still try something, which is Hellkite, pinging my opponent down to 4 and attacking with the Bailout Null. I don't think it's likely that they don't block, but you never know. I guess since, yeah, they needed a blocker for that thing, so maybe keeping the Scion around was a good play actually, so never mind me. Yeah, that's my only shot, is that the opponent has a stroke and doesn't block that, but I don't think it's too likely to happen. Alright. I almost thought I would come back in this game, but I didn't. Yup, and I die here. That's a shame. Without the slaughter drone, well, yeah, no, there was no way I was coming back in this game, unfortunately. Don't think this should be an awful matchup for me, though. Nullifier is not particularly good, as I mentioned. That thing tends to not do a whole lot. Plated Crusher could be interesting in this matchup. Thing is, I like both of my 7-drop more than this, and I don't think I want to play 3 7-drop. Vine blocks Flyer. I don't think it's great though against a deck with a bunch of removals and Trick. I think I'll just keep my deck the way it is. And yeah, kinda get destroyed by the Nullifier last game, honestly. That card is good if you can enable it, but I'm not sure. Maybe the opponent has enough things to enable that, but Counterspell and Nullifier doesn't seem like a very good deck in the current Oath of the Gatewatch metagame, so oh well. It worked well against me. I'm playing big things, so I guess it was probably right. But I think with just 1 or 2 more spells, I would have been able to kill my opponent. My hand is not amazing, but I'm gonna keep it. Because, you know, I can cast everything. It is relatively slow, which I do not appreciate against a deck that's playing a bunch of counterspell. That being said, I cannot afford to mulligan that, especially on the play. It has things, it is decent. Hopefully the opponent doesn't play a turn 2 Culling Drone with a Nullifier to back up after he ate some of my cards. That'd be unfortunate, but not a whole lot of things I can do if that happens. So I guess we'll see. He might be not tempted to attack with a 2/2 into 3 mana, given I showed 2 Vile Redeemer. I think that'd be a misplay. So even if he has a 2 drop, he might not attack with it. We'll see. And I might eventually draw one of my Redeemers. As the opponent just mulled to 5, unfortunately for them. And I will play my Forest here past the turn. And I feel more comfortable about my chances to win this game, given the opponent mulligan. I have a lot of threats, so he or she will need to have a lot of counterspell. And no turn 2 is also good news for me. And I drew my 5th land, so even if he counters the Eyeless Watcher, I'll be able to cast those passwords. My deck is so stupid, by the way. That's probably, yeah, that's definitely one of the stupidest deck I've ever played. Looming Spire is decent. Double red could be useful, and at least it's not a land that does nothing, so there is that. Triple password, and what the heck. It's good though. It's quite good. I'm just lacking a bit of removal. That's the main issue, as I mentioned a few times. If he wants to play the Nullifier just to block one of my thing, that's fine. I'm like completely fine with that. Sure. Feel free to do that. No problem. It means my password is resolving. He might have a removal. I'm saying he most of the time. It's just because English is not my mother tongue. I mean he or she most of the time. I hope it doesn't offend anyone. Oblivion Strike, alright. Cannot attack efficiently there. I don't think you want to trade damages at this point. And Bailout Null was a decent draw, given I can have access to black at some point. Anyway, I think I'll keep my Forest in hand just in case my opponent has a remove 2 cards from your opponent hand. I mean, your opponent select 2 cards and remove them, or Myers Malice. I might as well play around that. It doesn't cost me much, and I don't think playing a land does a whole lot of good for me. And hopefully the opponent doesn't have thousands of other removals. We'll see what happens. A Containment Membrane doesn't deal with Pathwarden too well. I don't even mind that too much. I think I'm fine trading 5 for 5 at this point of the game. So, guess I actually have token anyway, so I can cast that and see what happens. If he has a counterspell, oh well. Oh well. No counterspell, alright. Sure, I guess I play my... Well, I don't know if I should or should not play that. Anyway, I'm definitely trading 5 for 5 at that point. That's no problem. No problem with me. Vision is good if you are offensive and if you are attacking. If you are on defense, that thing will not really save you. It is still quite good, but might not be enough for my opponent to come back there. We'll see. If he plays just a powerful 7-drop there, I might be in trouble. So yeah, game is definitely not over by any means, but my opponent is not in the best spot, facing 10 power of Tramplers, of Vigilant Tramplers. Ooh, a 7-drop, that's not a good news. If he plays the 7/8 that gain life, it's annoying. Scour from the Existence is fine though. It is a bit annoying, but not a whole lot I can do about that. I drew a Mouth Kozlek, which is fine. I think I will just attack with my password in there. The bad news now is that I'm going down to 10. If my opponent has some way to gain a bit of tempo back, I might be in trouble. That being said, I think I'm still in a very good shape. If the opponents attack there, I'd be... Ooh! Ooh, that's really bad news. I don't like that at all. Yeah, that could really be bad news. If my opponent just plays a processor, the 7-8 that gained 5 life, I think I straight up lose because this will kill me slowly. I mean, 4 turn is not that slow, and then I have no good attack. So I might lose there. If we saw the processor, I think I just lose. It's quite annoying. I still think it was right to attack, but apparently my opponent draws were just better against mine. Alright. Rolling Waters is actually beatable. Sure, I do not have any answer to that. So I guess I'll go down to 3 on my turn. My opponent can't kill me. I can kill my opponent, never mind. Let's not do stupid things. Let's just... I don't think for 1 black there's anything that can save my opponent at this point. And I'm glad I kept that Looming Spire in hand. Alright. So, that's gonna be lethal. For 1 black, I don't think there's anything. But if my opponent does have something, then I kill myself. Maybe, given that I had 9 mages, maybe playing, not using the support on the password and was right. That being said, I don't think there's something that can save my opponent for 1 black. This looks to be a very tough matchup. My opponent has a bunch of removal. Yeah. I think this nullifier doesn't require me to play Vine. Maybe I want Plated Crusher though. That thing might just crush my opponent quite badly if I can resolve it. The fact that he's also playing Counterspell makes this a bit worse though, because it has X-Proof but it still can be countered. My other drops, my other 7 drops are just better, I think. I'll just keep the deck the way it is. Alright. Interesting matchup, to say the least. My opponent deck is a bit weird and maybe not so good, but against my deck it works fairly decently, so there is that. A bunch of removal and counterspell, does work decently, but I have a decent amount of 2-drop and 3-drop, so I can also make fairly aggressive draw that could cause trouble to my opponent, given that he or she is not playing match early thing and mostly proactive cards. So I guess we'll see, but I don't think it is an awful matchup for me. But definitely an interesting one. I'd be glad to cast Omnat one day though. That'd be super sweet. My hand is great. I have basically access to any mana I need. I have 2-drop, a 3-drop. It is just very sweet. Alright. I drew another mountain, so now I can basically fetch up a swamp and be able to cast pretty much anything from my deck, but the 6 and 7 drops. Drew another land though. The swamp enabled the bailout null, but I think I will not fetch a land. The reason is bailout is 1 card of my entire deck, and I don't think I can afford to get too flooded in that matchup too, as the opponent is missing land drop. And I drew another land. Well, I'd rather have drawn a swamp, but well, maybe fetching the swamp was right. I don't know. Hopefully I won't get flooded once again. That'd be a bit sad. Maybe I should have played my thing while the opponent didn't have access to a counterspell. Yeah, I think playing it now is a mistake. I should have played main phase to dodge a potential counterspell. If he counters my thing there, I'll look like the fool, because it changed my clock a lot, and it is just quite bad. No counterspell though. The thing I did was still a misplay. I drew Eyeless Watcher, which is sweet though. It works decently with Tyrant. I guess same with Vile Redeemer actually. At least it's not a land. That's That's the most important thing, I would say. And the opponent doesn't seem to have any counterspell, and since my opponent missed a land drop and I drew that, I feel like I'm in a good shape now. What is that? A grave piercing, sure. Doesn't seem too great for the opponent. He has access to 5 mana though here. Mopit 666, I guess. This is the devil. That being said, I'm in a really decent spot there. Since the opponent hit the forced land drop, we might have an interesting and interactive game, but I still like my chances there. Don't have much power on the battlefield though, so there is that too. I'm still attacking for at least 3 next turn, I would assume. No, maybe not. Maybe just play a cultivator drone and blocks my attackers. I could see that happening. No, nothing. Alright. Well, I drew a land there, which is obviously quite bad. Not much I can do about that though. If the opponent has a few removal and can find a way to stabilize the board, again it's a bit like game one. I'll end up losing due to my lands. Though I should not complain too much. But 5 spell 7 land is not the best ratio, that's for sure. At least I'm not threatened by anything yet, and I have a powerful creature in hand, so there is that too. It's not gonna deal much damages though. Asiaban is likely to play a 4-drop there. No. Maybe they have Oblivion Strike, but want to bounce this before? I don't really know. I don't care. Since I drawn another one, any type of bounce effect, I mean, the thing that bounces on the top of the library will not hurt me too much. A nullifier is fine too. I mean, when this doesn't counter spell, it's like fine. I mean, he will eat one of my token, but I just don't care too much about that. And now it means that I can freely cast my other Password, and I think I'll keep my lands in hand just because of I have a few landfall creature, and also I guess I kind of want to play the forest though. It means if I draw the Hellkite I can play it and a forest though. So maybe playing one forest is fine. Not sure. Anyway, the opponent doesn't have access to enough mana to use Rolling Waters, so coming back here is gonna be very hard. If my opponent does have a removal, he can kill that and then go to 1, then I cast Parage Tyrant. Yeah, think this should be enough for me to win. The second Password was quite sick to draw. So we'll see what happens, but I don't like my opponent's chances too much. My deck it's funny because it really is a bunch of creature. I think I'm playing 20 creatures, 2 removal burn spell, and 1 mana acceleration in Natural Connection. So yeah, that's probably one of the most dumb deck I've played so far and built in House of the Gatewatch. But it works decently well so far. We'll see how it performs for the finals, I guess. Because, yeah, we did not win yet, but I would assume that there's not much my opponent can do to come back in this game. I think I'm thinking a lot there, not sure why. If it goes a bit longer, I might just pause the video or even stop it, because I think it is pretty much game over. And in this case, I guess I'll see you guys in the finals, but I don't think there's any reason to wait more here. If he's not back in... okay, that's gonna be game. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed. And I guess I see you for the finals.